Welcome to Derry. Episode 7 didn't just give us Pennywise's heartbreaking origin story. It also delivered one of the most dangerous twists in the entire Stephen King universe. And honestly, this ending. This isn't going to end well. Not for the characters, not for Derry, and maybe not even for the United States. Episode 7 of Welcome to Derry is already one of the most disturbing hours in the series. We get the origin of the clown face that IT attached itself to. We relive the horrific destruction of the Black Spot, something Stephen King fans know as one of the darkest tragedies in Derry's history. But the most shocking part doesn't come from the past, it comes from the present, and it comes from the U.S. military. Let's break down exactly what happened, and why this ending could change everything. What happens at the end of Episode 7? After the catastrophic arson attack at the Black Spot, a moment that seemingly ends Pennywise's killing cycle, the military gets involved. Led by Dick Halloran, they locate one of the ancient pillars that's been holding IT in check for centuries. Major Leroy Hanlon believes they've tracked down the key to doing something that's never been done before. Trapping the creature for good, maybe even killing it. But the second the army arrives at the site, it becomes obvious something is off. Hanlon thinks they're securing the pillar. The military is actually preparing to destroy it. And once General Francis Shaw steps in, the real plan becomes terrifyingly clear. They don't want to cage it. They want to unleash it.
Horrific. But guess what? The streets are calm today.
The general's plan, a monster as a weapon. General Shaw argues that America is falling apart, fracturing into 1,000 jagged, ill-fitting pieces. And he believes the only way to keep the population united is through fear. Not propaganda, not diplomacy, not policy. Fear, real bone-chilling, paralyzing fear. And who embodies that better than Pennywise? Shaw points to Derry as his perfect example. After dozens of children have been slaughtered, how is the town reacting? Not with riots, not with rebellion, but with silence. Terror, he claims, has pacified them. He looks at IT, this cosmic ancient predator, and sees not a monster but a tool, a strategic asset, a living weapon that can blanket the country in fear like an anesthetic. In his words, the fear settles on every living person like a fog. Shaw thinks unleashing IT across America will prevent civil unrest, prevent rebellion, and ironically create order. In other words, the government wants to use Pennywise as a nationwide fear bomb. Why this is a terrifying twist. For 6 episodes, Pennywise has terrorized children. Just children. Always small, always seasonal, always contained within the cursed borders of Derry. But for the first time ever, the universe of IT introduces something new. A human institution actively choosing to weaponize IT. This isn't the creature sneaking out of the sewers. This is a military operation, a coordinated strategy. And if this plan succeeds, Pennywise's hunger, his cycle of feeding on mass fear, will no longer be confined to one town. It will be nationwide. It will be unstoppable. And it will be government-sanctioned. This twist fundamentally changes the scale of the horror. It raises a question we've never asked in the IT universe. What happens when the deadliest entity on Earth is partnered with the most powerful institution on Earth? Spoiler, nothing good? Where Major Hanlon fits in. Major Hanlon is horrified. He believes the pillar is part of the cage that keeps the creature hibernating. Destroying it means unleashing IT at full power. Hanlon has spent this season learning just how dangerous Pennywise is, how it shapeshifts, manipulates, and feeds on trauma. He knows fear doesn't create unity. It creates chaos. But the general doesn't care. This isn't about morality. It's about control. Hanlon tries to stop the operation, but he's outrank.
Hold it right there! Shut it down!
Scene where Pennywise, now re-energized and dripping in indigenous war paint, goes after young Will Hanlon. And that attack is no accident. It's personal. And it's meant to send a message. What the Army's plan means for the finale. The season finale is now positioned to answer some massive questions. 1. How far is the military willing to go? If they're willing to unleash IT on the entire country, what's next? Will they try to study it, control it, feed it? 2. Will Pennywise break free of Derry? This could be the first time IT threatens a scale far beyond King's original story. 3. How will the Hanlon family survive this? With Will hit by the Deadlights, the family's future now stands on the edge of a knife. 4. Will Dick Halloran fight against the military he helped? His involvement ties the show directly into the Shining universe, and it may point to deeper connections with the Deadlights. Final thoughts. This isn't going to end well. Episode 7 warns us very clearly, Pennywise isn't the only danger in this story. Human decisions, fear, control, pride are just as terrifying. The clown's origin may evoke sympathy. The black spot tragedy may break your heart. But the Army's plan? That's the real nightmare. Because IT isn't the only monster. Sometimes the people in charge are far worse. And as we head into the finale, one thing is obvious. Thank you for watching.